And I'm not just talking about how they call it soccer. Yeah, I know, right? I'm talking about more important things, like how some stadiums are completely unwalkable like the rest of the country.
This idea that people think they can walk safely on highways is the most dangerous thing I've ever heard of.
Okay, hear me out. What about a bridge? You know, so you don't have to walk in the road, you can walk over the road. It seems like a pretty simple solution, no?
Did you really think you'd be able to walk to MetLife Stadium for the FIFA World Cup games?
Why does he make it sound like a good thing? He's like, oh, you see that stadium over there? The World Cup final is being held there. When you thought you were just gonna walk on over, you silly goose. It's not a good thing. Like, this guy's talking about this public stadium, which is meant for people to be like traversing in and out of. He's speaking about it like it's a prison, like it's fucking Alcatraz or something.
No, you're not. Do you know what's around the stadium? Nothing but marshland and highways. You can't walk that.
So why would you build it there? This guy's like, well, you know what's around here? Marshlands and highways. Where are we supposed to walk? Why did you build the stadium there? You're right next to New York City. There wasn't a place like closer to New York? Or like on the other side, or like somewhere else? Literally anywhere else?
Transit officials continue to say public transportation will be your best bet getting to and from the stadium. Yes, train tickets will be $150. Let's just get that out of the way.
Is he serious? What does he mean, get that out of the way? He's like, he just skims over the $150 train tickets to go in. Even though it is pretty important considering people are already going to pay for the tickets, they're going to pay for flights, accommodation, and now this fucking train. I mean, it's really stretching people's budgets. And the best part about this are the Americans in the comment sections trying to defend this outrageous pricing. You know, they're like, why would I want to walk across a freeway when there's a train that does the exact same thing? Like, we joke about Americans being fucking stupid and having shitty infrastructure, but I'm starting to think that those aren't jokes anymore. But it's a known fact that America isn't a very walkable country. Like, most main cities aren't that walkable, with, you know, jaywalking being a crime. That should tell you a lot. And signs like these, which literally tell you that it's illegal to walk on a path beyond this point. This is so goofy. Like, I just imagine like one guard like standing there being like, nope, you can't go past. The sign says so. And they've got one fucking policeman just guarding this one sign. Or here, where the path literally just ends because no one's going to use it anyway. We've all got cars. We've all got Ford F-150s. We don't need to walk anywhere. It's like WALL-E, but in real life. But you know what? I'm getting sidewalked. Like sidetracked. But like I said sidewalk because America doesn't have those.
Shut your fucking mouth!
Hello, I'm here from the future to tell you to subscribe because I always forget to ask as I'm recording the video. So yeah, subscribe, leave a like, do all that good stuff, and enjoy the rest of the video. But the first news clip kind of showed that this World Cup isn't too much about giving the viewers and the players the best experience. You know, that's kind of an afterthought. The main thought and the main goal for this World Cup is to just make money. And we can see that through the insane travel costs and the insane ticket prices.
So that totals £11,116.38, and that covers 2 warm-up friendlies, which are this week in Florida, group game in New York against Panama, last 16 game in Mexico, and the final.
So he's going for a total of 5 games, he said, and is paying £11,000. Now, obviously, if you've got the money, spend it how you want. You know, you earned it, so it's yours to spend. Me personally, I don't think it's a waste of money. I just think he's getting ripped off. Like, it's like the ROI isn't really like, you know, seeming that positive to me, especially since I can just watch most of the games at home with better angles than the seats that cost like an arm and a leg to get into.
It's a reminder that FIFA is still holding on to tickets and are selling them on a rolling basis. This gives the appearance that games are close to being sold out or are sold out, which then justifies them selling them at those massively inflated prices, which is just like just a disgusting way to operate.
So the fact that FIFA's selling tickets on a rolling basis means they're selling tickets like section by section. So using this stadium as an example, they would sell tickets for this specific area and they'd be like, quick, there are only 5 seats left, it's getting sold out, quick. And then a bit like later down the line, they'd do the same thing but in this section, and just keep going until the entire stadium's actually sold out. Okay, so in between editing, I was getting a bit of doom scrolling in, and I saw this video which basically confirmed the fact that tickets aren't being sold.
Almost 180,000 World Cup tickets are still unsold on resale platforms just days before kickoff.
Keep in mind, I'm recording this on Wednesday, literally the day before the World Cup games start. So yeah, that's kind of crazy. Just wanted to point that out. The only reason I would see for doing this is to create FOMO, so people would be like, fuck, there's only 5 tickets left, quick, we have to buy World Cup tickets right now. And I guess in their defense, this could be used to like stop scalpers, I guess. And because they're being sold on a rolling basis, there are some seats which might not even get filled up. So some stadiums might end up looking like this. Okay, that's a bit extreme. I don't think any World Cup game is going to look that empty, but I kind of hope it does. I mean, imagine if the stadiums are empty, right? The ticket prices are going to be through the floor because supply and demand. You know, if no one's buying, you obviously have to lower the prices so more people can afford the tickets. And that's actually something I've seen people use as a defense for why the ticket prices are insanely overpriced. You know, they're like, lots of people want to buy them, so raise the fucking prices. I mean, I've seen ticket prices up to $11,000. Okay, there's no amount of demand warranting $11,000. That's like a year of rent. But back to the point of the experience of the World Cup being an afterthought, because it seems like players are also going through a similar thing. This is another huge clip that's going around right now because the ball isn't bouncing as much as it normally like would on like a normal pitch. That means the floor's absorbing all of the force and it's clearly not like soft at all. Which means if a player falls on it or something like that, there's going to be concussions left, right and center. Now, some of the reasons for this might be that the soil layer might be too thin or it's just on a shit material. And it turns out that it's both. Yeah, rock hard stadium seems about right. I mean, they're laying like 2 inches of grass on top of fucking concrete. I mean, come on, this can't be safe. So they're using this huge roller thingy and this little arm thing. And it's like they're just throwing something together like for a casual get together, like fucking sports days around the corner or something. And after a bit of Googling, I found out that most football pitches are between 8 inches to 12 inches or 200 millimeters to 300 millimeters. And that clearly is not 8 inches. It's not even close.
You see, 8 of the 16 host stadiums are currently made up of synthetic turf, a surface that doesn't just cause more injuries or change the way the game is played like we all already know about. On a hot 86°F day, for example, surface temperatures could rise to over 140 degrees.
So America doesn't have any football pitches or soccer fields in their fucking country, because of course they don't even care about the sport that much. So they have to convert their NFL stadiums, which are covered in turf, and you know, stadiums that are just concrete for like concerts and stuff, they have to convert those into actual stadiums with grass on them, which kind of raises a really interesting point of why was America even picked? They clearly aren't like prepared for this, even though they were picked 8 years ago. They had 8 years to prepare and they're only doing stuff now. Well, okay, well, not really now, because this is like a 2-month-old video. So not really now, but they've had a lot of time to prepare and they haven't, because these stadiums aren't for football. You know, if this was hosted in any European country, there would be stadiums ready to go. You know, you could give the UK a week notice and we'd be able to host the World Cup like nothing. There are a bunch of other moments where the pitches just seem a little bit off. Like here, where the lines are a little bit wonky.
Did Stevie Wonder paint these bloody lines on the pitch for the England game tonight? Because it looks like someone's just gone to B&Q, got a tub of Dulex Pure Brilliant White, and just come along with a big Timbercare paintbrush.
Or here, where they decided to use a sports day kind of flag for Brazil versus Egypt. Mind you, it wasn't an actual game, the games haven't started yet, but if this is what we're getting now, my hopes are through the floor for the actual games.
Bro, am I seeing this correctly? Yeah? The World Cup is starting this week, and the one thing they can't do correctly is name footballers.
And you've got this one as well, where the English players' names are just all in disarray. I don't know how you mess up this badly. Like, you can copy and paste shit straight off of Wikipedia, and it takes like 10 seconds. How do you fuck this up this badly? So all of these things just show that America does not care about football. I mean, they call it soccer, for goodness sake. Of course they don't give a shit about it. They literally named another sport football, one which doesn't have a ball in it and doesn't really use your foot. Also, they can't even pull off a proper chant.
Cause we support the US, the US, the US. That's the way we like it. We like it. We love it.
Now, watching this is like watching a bunch of skinwalkers trying to act human. Like they see a video of a European chant and they're like, oh, come on, dude, that looks so easy to do. We could do that shit right now. And then this is the abomination that comes out. And there are so many videos of American chants versus like UK chants.
It's called soccer.
Fucking hell, Birmingham out here breaking the fucking sound barrier. Jeez, it's not even close. And I think the main thing that separates the American and the UK chants is the Americans are always really positive. They're like, you know, go America, go team, you know, stuff like that.
We love it.
I guess that's why they have cheerleaders, right? And like they take sports very lightly. But UK chants is just some random like BS. Yeah, I don't have enough football knowledge to know what the hell they're talking about. I don't know who the Kiddie family is. And there are also the ones where it's literally just straight slander.
What do you think of Tottenham? What do you think of shit? Thank you. That's alright. We ain't Tottenham. We ain't Tottenham. We ain't Tottenham. We ain't Tottenham.
But now that American fans and British fans are mixing, there are some things which British people aren't letting fly, like Mexican waves.
Well, from our perspective, we ain't participating. It's just not going all the way around, is it? It just isn't. Oh, they're in for a treat here. Proper English. Welcome to America.
Honestly, that might be the most British way to respond to that. Holy. But that's the end of the video. Hope you did enjoy or learn something or something. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.